My entry level lasted about 15 years, and we're talking about being able to see a doctor, getting sick, getting a surgery, paying my rent when I had, less than $7 in my account, and a residual from Buffy the Vampire Slayer showed up and saved the day, and literally is the reason I was able to stay in it and not give up.
Something that's resurfaced is a lot of appearances that you've done on TV shows. Sarah Michelle Gellar posted about you being on.
Pedro Pascal just crashed the Marvel Fantastic Four press tour, and instead of hyping up the movie, he's turned it into some wild political therapy session. This ain't promotion anymore. This is Marvel's funeral, and Pedro's the one swinging the shovel. There was a time when landing a Marvel role meant everything. It used to be the gig of a lifetime, the golden ticket to Hollywood stardom and fans cheering your name at every Comic-Con. Now, it's like walking blindfolded through a cultural war zone where you might offend half the country before the trailer even drops. And guess who's leading that chaos right now? Pedro Pascal. Mr. I've got an opinion on everything. Pascal has taken Marvel's already controversial Fantastic Four reboot, a movie fans are already side-eyeing, and turned the whole press tour into what feels like a political TED Talk gone rogue. You'd think after The Last of Us Season 2 drama, where some fans were already throwing shade before a single episode aired, Pedro would chill for a second.
Posted about me?
Yes.
I need to get on the World Wide Web. Where is the Sarah Michelle Gellar?
It's on Instagram. Look, I'll show it to you right now. When Mother Met Father is what it says.
Oh my gosh.
What do you remember about that?
Everything. She had ice cream in her trailer and she gave me some. It was a night shoot. It was in the middle of the night. She taught me how to use a sandbag, doing a play in Long Beach. I had to miss opening night because we had to shoot this very, very short moment.
You'd think maybe, just maybe, he'd focus on his role as Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic. Give people a reason to believe he's the right guy for the job. But nope. Instead, he's out here dropping speeches about politics, gender debates, DEI talking points, and even going off about how America's supposedly falling apart just because some people aren't loving his casting. That's his whole argument. Wild, right? Marvel handed this guy the keys to one of the most legendary heroes in comic book history, and what does he give the fans in return? A 30-minute rant calling people brainwashed, bigoted, and part of some weird, failure-loving crowd if they dare criticize the movie. He's not even hiding it anymore. It's straight up in your face. He literally told Marvel fans, if you don't get why his Reed Richards works, go read the comics. Like, seriously, Pedro? We did read the comics. That's exactly why we're scratching our heads over here.
Pedro Pascal is an interesting case in Hollywood. A basket case.
No. I am a lazy 50-year-old bougie.
But interesting nonetheless. This is a guy who is constantly embroiled in scandal, having absolutely no issue attacking huge swathes of America.
But let's zoom out for a second, because this isn't just Pedro Pascal being Pedro. This is about Marvel as a whole spiraling out of control. Once the unbeatable king of the box office, Marvel is now stumbling over the same bad plays that already flopped. The casting is shaking people up. The creative choices are straight up confusing, and the script? It's been rewritten more times than a group project where no one agrees on anything. And now, before the movie's even close to theaters, the lead actor is out here roasting the fan base like it's some late-night comedy skit. Let's break it down. From day one, fans were raising eyebrows. Pedro as Reed Richards? That's already got people split.
The Fantastic Four are going to be a massive fixture for the next several upcoming years in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Reed Richards specifically, supposedly, is going to be a huge part of what Marvel does going forward. And of course, he's played by Pedro Pascal. We've seen Marvel go all in when it comes to the marketing for this, for everything. And I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of seeing Pedro Pascal anywhere. This is on the cover of Vanity Fair. Everyone wants a piece of Pedro.
But then the whole direction of the film started throwing out red flags. Gender-swapped characters, a totally reworked Silver Surfer, and even rumors flying around about Shia LaBeouf being part of it, then disappearing. And let's not forget, the story keeps swerving further and further away from the original comics, like they're making it up as they go. And let's not forget the biggest Marvel crime of all, messing with the legacy of the Fantastic Four. People actually wanted this reboot to work. That's what stings the most. Even after getting burned again and again by Phase 4 and 5, Marvel fans were holding out hope, hoping this would finally be the comeback, the redemption story, the one where Marvel went back to its roots, respected the characters, respected the fans, and told a real story without throwing in a life lesson every 5 minutes. But nope. Here comes Pedro Pascal basically telling you, if you don't vibe with his Mr. Fantastic, you're the problem. And the wildest part, he's not just talking for himself, he's exposing what's going on behind the curtain. According to Pedro, Marvel, and yeah, he drops Kevin Feige's name too, they aren't backing off this political stuff. They're still pushing DEI, still stirring up gender politics, still writing stories that follow agendas instead of focusing on the characters. The only difference now? They're doing it sneakier. They're toning it down just enough to hide it, not remove it. Let's be real. Marvel's game plan isn't about changing direction. It's about disguising it. They figured out that if they blast the message too loud, fans push back hard. So now they're just tucking it in deep enough that only the internet detectives catch it. But it's still there, still baked right into the heart of the story. And Pedro? Oh, he's proud of that. He even says straight up that this movie has a focus on gender politics, and fans will be able to decipher the anagram hidden in the narrative. An anagram in a superhero movie. You can't make this stuff up. What is this supposed to be, a Marvel movie or some rejected script from National Treasure? But hold up, it gets even crazier. Pedro's now saying that all the backlash over his casting and the movie's direction is coming from one side of the country, and guess what? He's blaming a bad administration for creating this so-called culture of fear and censorship. Like seriously, now criticizing a Marvel movie makes you part of some huge political conspiracy? No, Pedro, it makes you a fan who's sick of Hollywood turning superhero flicks into political battlegrounds instead of epic stories. You know what else burns fans out? The constant gaslighting. Pedro claims his Reed Richards is comic accurate, but then in the same breath admits they've switched up the source material in all kinds of ways. Like what? You can't say it's faithful and then proudly tell us, oh yeah, but we changed the key parts. That's just straight up insulting, and fans aren't falling for it anymore. Marvel keeps running the same tired hustle. They toss in familiar character names, sprinkle some Easter eggs here and there, flash a couple of comic book covers, and expect fans to just ignore the fact that the heart of these characters is gone. They call it evolution, but what it really feels like is erosion. Erosion of the legacy, the respect, and the greatness that made these heroes legendary in the first place. And let's talk about The Thing, one of the most iconic, beloved members of the team. Fans love this character. But what's happening now? He won't even say his classic catchphrase, "It's clobberin' time," until the very end of the movie, like they're trying to act like he has to earn it first or something. Why mess with a classic like that? Like we're really supposed to sit through 2 hours just waiting for a classic moment that should have happened naturally? That right there sums up modern Marvel's problem. Everything's gotta be flipped, twisted, and reimagined. Every character gets dragged through some ideological filter before they're allowed on screen. And by the time they show up, they barely even feel like the heroes we grew up with. You can literally feel how nervous Marvel is right now. You can see it in the awkward interviews, the shaky press releases, and the desperate marketing trying to spin all this backlash into some progressive criticism. But here's the truth, it's not working anymore. People are catching on. Fans are tired of being talked down to, tired of being treated like the bad guys just because they care about these characters and want to see them done right. And let's be real, this isn't just some harmless press tour gone sideways. Pedro's comments are turning into a liability. Studios pour millions into promoting these movies, trying to fire up the fan base. But Pedro, every time he steps up to a mic, it's like he's telling fans, loud and clear, this movie isn't for you. Instead of hyping the story, he's making it a statement. And that statement hits like a slap in the face. We don't care what you think. Remember the Marvel that cared back when Iron Man, the Avengers, and Winter Soldier felt like they were for everyone? Yeah, those days are gone. Now it feels like if you don't clap for the message, you're instantly labeled as toxic. And the wildest part, the louder fans try to explain why they care, the louder the irony gets. And just when you think it couldn't get messier, rumors are swirling that even the cast and crew aren't on the same page behind the scenes. Whispers from insiders claim that rewrites are still happening during filming, and the vibe on set is tense, like everyone's walking on eggshells. Some reports even say a few actors are frustrated because they signed on for a superhero movie, not a political manifesto dressed up in spandex. But of course, none of that makes it into the press junkets. Out front, it's all smiles and "we're so proud of this project." Meanwhile, fans are left wondering what exactly they're supposed to be excited for. Is it the Fantastic Four reboot, or another 2-hour debate on modern society with a few CGI fight scenes tossed in? And what about the director? People barely mention them anymore. It's like Pedro Pascal has become the face, voice, and full-blown PR machine for this film, whether Marvel likes it or not. Every headline's got his name slapped on it, not because of the story, but because of the controversy. And guess what? That controversy is the story now. Look, controversy can sell tickets. No one's denying that. But when the controversy drowns out the characters, the plot, and the excitement, what's left? A divided fan base, a confused audience, and a movie that hasn't even hit theaters already carrying way too much baggage. At the end of the day, fans just wanted to see the Fantastic Four done right. A team of heroes, not political mouthpieces. But so far, all we've got is noise, drama, and a big question mark hanging over Marvel's future. And now, Marvel's got a bigger problem. Fans aren't just mad, they're checking out. People who once lined up for midnight premieres are skipping this one entirely. Social media is packed with longtime Marvel lovers saying they're done wasting their energy on movies that don't respect the fans or the source material. That excitement Marvel used to spark? Gone. Replaced by frustration and memes roasting every new announcement. And where's Kevin Feige in all this? Silent. No course correction, no clear vision, just letting this chaos play out like it's all part of the plan. But here's the thing. Back in the Infinity Saga days, Marvel didn't need to explain why fans should care. The characters spoke for themselves. Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, Black Panther, they connected with people because they felt real, heroic, timeless. Now it's like Marvel's forgotten that magic. Instead of crafting stories that unite people, they're chasing headlines, controversy, and hollow applause from people who don't even watch the movies. And the sad part, Pedro Pascal seems proud to wear that controversy like a badge of honor. Every interview feels less like promotion and more like provocation, daring fans to disagree. And let's be honest, people would love to love this movie. The Fantastic Four is iconic. Reed, Sue, Johnny, Ben, they're supposed to inspire, not divide. But Marvel keeps making it harder and harder to cheer for them when the focus is on stirring debates instead of saving the world. So here we are. Months from release, and the biggest buzz around the Fantastic Four reboot isn't excitement, it's exhaustion. And unless something changes fast, this movie might go down as Marvel's biggest missed opportunity yet. But wait, it gets even wilder. Now, some Hollywood insiders are whispering that Marvel's already bracing for this movie to flop before it even drops. Studio sources claim the higher-ups are quietly lowering box office projections and shifting focus to the next big project, hoping people will just forget this Fantastic Four mess ever happened. Imagine that. Marvel, the studio that used to dominate the box office without breaking a sweat, already throwing in the towel before opening weekend. And what's their backup plan? More spin, more damage control. Suddenly, the headlines are full of think pieces about how superhero fatigue is to blame. Not bad writing, not weird casting choices, not the fact that they turned a beloved superhero team into a cultural lightning rod. No, apparently it's your fault, fans, because you're too tired to appreciate Marvel's bold new direction. It's a classic move. Shift the blame, dodge responsibility, and pretend everything's fine. But fans aren't buying it anymore. They've seen too many franchises crumble under this exact formula. Stop listening to your audience, start chasing headlines, and watch your fan base walk away. And honestly, what's most disappointing? The Fantastic Four deserve better than this. They were Marvel's first family, the team that launched an entire universe of heroes. They're not just some side project you throw into the chaos to score political points. They're supposed to be legendary. Right now, though, all we've got is a reboot caught in the middle of a culture war, led by an actor who seems more interested in starting debates than saving the world. And unless Marvel pulls off a miracle, this reboot might end up remembered not for what it created, but for what it destroyed. Marvel's not just losing fans anymore, they're losing real money. Box office numbers are crashing like Thanos snapped away their last brain cell. Audience scores? In free fall. Merch sales, drying up faster than yesterday's memes. This brand was once a cultural giant, and now it's the punchline of viral TikToks roasting its downfall. And instead of pausing, just stopping for 1 second to ask, yo, what exactly went wrong? What do? They double down. Every single time. No lessons learned, no accountability, no course correction in sight, just more spin, more lectures, and more finger pointing. Because in today's Hollywood, admitting failure is a bigger crime than running your whole fan base out the door. Now picture this, really picture it. Fantastic Four finally hits theaters, and it bombs. Critics rip it apart, fans stay home, and theaters echo with awkward silence. This was supposed to be Marvel's big comeback, their return to glory, and instead, DOA, dead on arrival. But do you think Disney will own up to it? Not a chance. The story will never be, hey, maybe we messed up. No way. It'll be some classic spin like the audience wasn't ready for our bold visionary storytelling, or online trolls sabotage the film with hate speech. Or the all-time favorite excuse, bigotry is the reason the movie failed at the box office. Same tired playbook, different day, blame the fans, blame the critics, blame the algorithm, blame the country, the culture, the phase of the moon, blame literally anything except the people who actually made the calls. And the wild part, you can already see it happening. Pedro Pascal's out here laying the foundation for every single excuse, every interview, every quote. It's all setting up the fallback plan. Just wait. The spin is coming. Pedro's not just out here doing press interviews, he's pre-spinning the whole disaster, setting up the blame game before the fallout even happens. So when the backlash finally hits, the story's already written, locked, and ready to roll. It's predictable, it's exhausting, and honestly, it's so obvious you can almost picture the PR checklist they're working from. And the worst part? This isn't just hurting a single movie, it's killing the entire MCU. Not slowly, not quietly, but with every loud, defiant, and clueless decision they make. Marvel had a choice, still has a choice. But the clock is ticking fast. They can keep pretending this strategy is working. Keep acting like the fans are the problem. Keep pretending that every criticism is hate speech. Keep turning legacy heroes into hollow shells built to tick modern checkboxes. Or they could finally wake up, listen, and do what they used to do best. Honor the source material, respect the audience, and tell great stories without drowning them in identity politics and corporate buzzwords. But let's be real, it's not just Pedro Pascal dragging this movie down. It's the whole culture that put him in this position. A culture built on arrogance, where criticism is treated like a personal attack. A culture where corporate fear hides behind fake moral courage, where listening to fans is seen as weak and forcing an agenda is seen as brave. That's the real tragedy of modern Hollywood right now. It's not about art anymore. It's about control. And here's the truth, plain and simple. This is coming from someone who loves movies, who grew up cheering for these characters, who wants Marvel to win again. But they'll never turn things around until they stop fighting their own audience. People don't go to superhero movies to get lectured. They go to see legends. They're not sitting down for some finger-wagging TED Talk. They want fist-pumping moments that give them chills. They don't want politics squeezed into spandex. They want heroes, real ones. People want to sit in a dark theater, escape the madness of the real world, and walk out feeling inspired, not brainwashed. They want to cheer, to feel something real, to connect with characters that rise above politics, not get dragged down by it. But what are we getting instead? Actors treating press tours like political rallies, turning every interview into a debate nobody asked for. Studios that care more about trending hashtags than timeless storytelling. Scripts so focused on checking boxes, they forget how to make fans care in the first place. And while all this is happening, the big bosses sit high up in their glass towers, watching the empire they built slowly crumble beneath them, still pretending this is all part of the plan. Spoiler alert, it's not. This is a slow motion collapse, and fans have been seeing it coming from miles away. Pedro Pascal can keep shouting from the rooftops. He can grandstand all day, throw shade, and insult the same fans who used to cheer for him. But when those opening weekend numbers flop, when critics' scores nosedive, and when the general audience just shrugs and moves on, there's only one truth left staring him in the face. Maybe, just maybe, it wasn't the trolls, it wasn't the cults, it wasn't the so-called haters. Maybe the fans were right all along. And if Marvel has even a shred of self-respect left, they'll take that crash as a serious wake-up call. Because they're not just losing box office money anymore, they're losing trust. They're losing loyalty. And when that's gone, the brand's done. They're not just losing money anymore, they're losing a whole generation of fans who once believed Marvel could do no wrong. So now the ball's in their court. Will they blame the fans again? Or will they finally face the truth that's been staring them down for years? But hey, that's just my take. What do you think? Is Pedro Pascal already dragging Fantastic Four off a cliff before the trailer even drops? Is Marvel too far gone to pull itself back, or are we just witnessing the slow, painful final act of a franchise that used to mean something? Let me know what's on your mind. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear it all. Smash that like button if you're tired of Hollywood treating fans like the bad guys. And hit subscribe if you want more no BS deep dives into the biggest celebrity messes, movie disasters, and pop culture train wrecks. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. The next story makes this one look like a warm-up act. Go ahead and click on the next video popping up on your screen right now for more celebrity drama, wild Hollywood scandals, and everything they don't want you to know. I'll catch you in the next one. Stay sharp, stay loud, and stay watching.